Hello there, my name is Megan. I'm 22. I've been dreaming about moving in together with someone special for ages. Well, my dream came true, but unfortunately the apartment that we picked was full of skeletons in the closet, and I had to catch those skeletons on my own. 1 year ago, I moved to Boston with my boyfriend Oliver and our dog Sammy. I was excited to start my new life with my man in the big city. We hired a charming realtor named Jessica. She took us to hunt for a dream apartment. The first 4 options were horrible: small, dirty, dark, and noisy. But when we saw the 5th apartment, I fell in love. It was affordable and had a lovely spacious closet. We signed the contract that same day and moved in. When Oliver moved all of our stuff with the movers, I had a little chat with our neighbour Mia. She was a 27-year-old freelance writer who lived alone with lots of plants. When we unpacked our bags and boxes, Mia knocked on the door and brought us a flower in a pot as a welcome gift. We invited her in for coffee and she gave us a lot of useful tips about the laundry room in the basement, the Wi-Fi, the garbage, and other things like that. Mia also said that I had a great taste and suggested that we go shopping together someday. The next month was like heaven. Oliver and I were getting used to living together in the big city. We found furniture and decor items at flea markets and decorated our little nest. Then one day, I took Mia shopping and she was acting very weird. She complimented me the whole time, which was annoying. When she suggested we buy the same clothes to look like twins, I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. The next morning I went for a run as usual, and Mia joined me, even though she wasn't invited. I wanted to tell her that I liked to run alone, but I hesitated, and she began to join me every morning. On top of that, every time we went for a walk with Sammy, she would be waiting for us outside, accidentally. One evening we invited friends and colleagues for a party, and I didn't tell Mia on purpose. I wanted to take a break from her. In the middle of the party, she texted me, "Hey, what you doing?" I didn't want to lie, so I just ignored the message. After 30 minutes, everyone smelled burning and saw smoke coming from the corridor and Mia's apartment. I was terrified. Thank God we had smoke alarms in the building. Oliver knocked on Mia's door. She opened and apologized. It turned out that she had left a chicken to roast in the oven and fell asleep. But the smoke was very intense, like she burned something plastic on purpose. Mia saw the guests and asked, "Oh, are you having a party?" Mia's apartment needed to be aired out, and Oliver, as a gentleman, told her to join the party. Her behaviour was pretty normal, and the evening was saved. Oliver and I left for our hometown for the Christmas holidays for 2 weeks. I warned Mia, brought her several plants, and asked her to plant them. When we returned and I went to Mia's to pick the plants up, when she opened the door, I saw that she had cut and dyed her hair to look exactly like me. Her clothes looked exactly like my clothes. Even the jewellery was similar to my style. The interior of her apartment had also changed. She painted her walls purple and decorated them with Moroccan rugs, just like I did. I took the plants and told her that I had to run. At that moment, I realised that something was wrong with this girl. When I went for a walk with Sammy, she joined us without permission, as usual. I asked her to stop being so obsessive. Mia pretended that she had no idea what I was talking about. And I yelled at her, saying that she was acting like a crazy person by trying to copy my style. After that short fight, I blocked her number and began to ignore when she knocked on our door. And things got worse. Every day, we would receive food deliveries, and we didn't order, and we had to explain to the restaurants. Then we began to receive different gifts. I even got a call from a delivery service that wanted to bring us a grand piano. Oliver and I understood that it was Mia, but we didn't have any proof because the payment method was always cash. We went to the landlord for a consultation. Unfortunately, Mia owned her apartment and we couldn't force her to move out. Then I told Oliver that we should move out, but we had signed a lease agreement for 1 year and we didn't have money for relocation. I should mention that Oliver and I hadn't really been getting along that well lately. He suffered from insomnia and was stressed out because he couldn't focus on his work. I was stressed out too. We began to fight a lot, and I didn't recognize my boyfriend anymore. After a while, Mia began to wake us in the middle of the night with music and loud sounds. One day, someone cut our internet cable, and we both knew who that was. I asked Oliver to go talk to Mia and threaten her with the police if necessary. When Oliver returned, he said that she had denied everything. After a while, I received an anonymous letter and a package with some fabric. The letter said that Oliver had been cheating on me for several months. I took a closer look at the package and realized that someone had sent me Oliver's underwear. Don't worry, they were clean. In the evening, I asked him directly what this was all about. Oliver said he literally didn't have any extra energy for cheating on me because I had sucked all the joy out of him. He said he was unhappy with me. And I got angry and kicked him out. Oliver wanted to take Sammy with him, but I wouldn't let him do that. While Oliver was loading his stuff in the taxi and yelling that I had never loved him, Mia opened the door and stuck out her curious, snaky face. She asked me whether I needed a friend. I yelled at her and slammed the door. That night Mia was quiet, but I couldn't sleep anyway. I was too upset. The next day I returned back from work and realized that Sammy was gone. We lived on the first floor and the window was open. I panicked and ran all over the neighborhood trying to find him. I called Oliver, but he said that he was on a business trip and couldn't help me with the search. I printed a missing dog poster and distributed it everywhere, but it seemed like Sammy had just disappeared. Part of me suspected Mia of stealing the dog. Another part suspected Oliver. Anyway, I was losing hope and cried my eyes out, but after 3 days, Mia brought Sammy back. She said that she had found him at the park. I was so glad to see Sammy that for a second I forgot that Mia was a weirdo, and I hugged her. She perceived that as a sign of friendship and invited me for coffee, but I refused. And after that chat, things got really creepy. When I returned home from work, I noticed that someone had moved my chairs. The next day, someone changed my bedsheets and messed up my makeup items. When I found my shoes in the fridge and food in my bathroom, I realized that I was going crazy. Or someone was trying to convince me that I was going crazy. But only Oliver still had the key to the apartment. I spent my last little bit of money on a locksmith. He changed the door lock and put bars on the windows. However, on the next day, my furniture was rearranged again. Only this time, someone left a lipstick message on my bathroom mirror. It said, "You are protected." I freaked out. What would you do? Of course I called the police. While I was waiting, I decided to change. In the closet, I noticed that the order of my shoeboxes was different, and I felt a draft from the wall. I touched the wall and it shook. I couldn't believe it. There was a masked hole in the wall that led to Mia's apartment. I entered the hole and ended up in Mia's closet. It was filled with garbage bags, my garbage bags, and the clothes that I thought I'd lost. Suddenly I heard sounds from her kitchen and I freaked out. Mia was home and she was coming for me. I had to get out of her apartment. I decided to wait for the police on the street, but in the corridor, I ran into Mia. She had a backpack and looked like she was going to run away. She knew that I knew about the hole. I blocked her way out and said that the police were coming. Sammy barked loudly at her. Mia panicked and jumped into the elevator. Of course, we had an emergency exit in the building. She could enter it from every floor. I remembered that our neighbours had to reset the elevator after the fire service alarm, and I came up with a genius plan. I activated the fire alarm, which made the lift go down to the first floor automatically. Mia was still inside the elevator. Sammy and I wouldn't allow her to get out. She was looking at me like an aggressive animal in a cage, but she didn't say a word. After 3 minutes, the police finally arrived. They inspected the apartment and the hole in the wall and took us to the police station. Officers called the landlord. He said he had no idea. The wall was fine when they checked the apartment before renting it to us. Mia confessed that she had made the hole in the wall while we were away for the Christmas holidays. Can you believe that? In 3 hours, Mia's father arrived to the police station from another town. He was sure that his daughter was doing fine. I took him to her apartment and showed him all the creepy stuff that she was hiding. The police also found diaries in which Mia called me her best friend. She was describing how she had stolen Sammy and how she wrote that letter with Oliver's underpants because he didn't deserve me. Mia thought that she was protecting me all that time. I felt pity for her father. He was very surprised. The police took Mia in for a psychiatric examination and figured out that she needed treatment. And I got a restraining order, of course. Meanwhile, I received some financial compensation from Mia's father and used that money to move to another apartment. Oliver is still making attempts to try and patch up our relationship, but I realized that I wanted to be alone. So now I live with Sammy in a beautiful place. But I cannot help myself. I check all my walls on a regular basis. And don't talk to my neighbours. What about you? Are you sure